Welcome, thank you. Today we are going to reveal the exact reasons why things are not going your way and why things keep on happening. If it's not one thing, it's another, negatively. And why you have a misconception of what manifesting is. So get out your pens and pads because this is worth taking notes over. In fact, if you are not really serious about this topic, you may want to just switch off now because this is going to be mind-blowing and create a euphoric ecstasy effect within you. Now, many people may have some doubts, and that is a natural construct of the left part of your brain. And the left part of your brain thinks about, is there evidence for this? There must be a how. There must be a certain specific way of doing it, or a logical way of creating material in this world, or creating a life that you love. Now, on the right side of your brain, that's a whole different story. There's a reason why we call it the right side of your brain, because it is the right side where we have intuition, where we have emotion, and we have so-called delusional thoughts. But I suggest to you the famous quote that a man said who changed the way we see things in so many ways. It's the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world that actually do. And this is because, again, we're thinking with the right side of the brain, right? The left side of the brain is going to be that L for logic. Logic. And it's going to need proof, right? Proof. How are we going to do it? What are we going to do it with? Very analytical, the left side of the brain. Sometimes people say we have people that are personalities of analytical or emotional. And emotion. That may have some truth to it. Yet the real truth is that we all have inside of us left and right brain. We all have inside of us logic and emotion. When we go into the right side of the brain, we don't really need proof. Some would say this is delusion, right? Oh, don't mind my spelling. Drop in the comments either how to spell things properly, or better yet, some notes that you're getting, some keys that you're getting from what I am giving, because this is powerful stuff. And if you accept it, it's going to change the way you see everything. So on the right side of the brain, we have emotion and delusion. We don't need proof. It's not logical. We are emotional beings. And I'm going to go as far to say that spirit is emotion. The reason why I say this is because all things that are spiritual are unseen, right? You're not able to see the things before we create them. Everything that you see around you that is material was once in the minds of someone else, and then it was created. It was manifested. The unseen became seen. The non-reality became reality. And I suggest to you that the supposed non-reality is more real than the supposed reality. What I mean by that is spirit is always more real than material. God is more real than we are. God is more real than anything around us that's material. And the left side of the brain is very much into material. So we are living in a spiritual world, not a material world. It's a spiritual world that we're in. And that is why the unseen is more real than the seen. And this is a gigantic misconception. This is one of the aspects of the gigantic misconception of manifestation. The misconception of manifestation is that we are creating something material when we are really, what the biggest goal of manifesting is not material, it's spiritual. It's not logic, but it's emotion. Logically, we think, ooh, I need to materialize and manifest $100,000, $1,000,000, 100 million, or 1,000 million, which is $1 billion this year. Oh, how great it'd be. Oh, how happy I'd be. Yet the thing is that so-called success does not bring happiness. Happiness always brings success. Success does not bring happiness. Happiness brings success. I told you to have your pen and pad out because we're going to drop some gems today. When we are manifesting, we are not manifesting what is logical. The 10,000 a month, 100,000 a month, million a month. What we are really manifesting is the emotion that we think that money or success in any which way, shape, or form will bring us. Whether it's your child going to college, or your child getting off drugs, or you getting off drugs, or your wife or your husband being in a relationship where you trust each other, or where you have confidence in yourself, or where you look a certain way, or where you drop a certain amount of weight, or your certain amount of fitness level. That is always an emotional manifestation that you are looking to bring into your life. You are looking to bring into the way that you feel, not what you have. Your being, not what you are having. Your being, not what you are doing. Because doing is just a part of what happens when we change our being. When we change our being, another way of saying that is we change how we behave, our behavior. Not just what we're doing, but our behavior emotionally, mentally, spiritually, meaning what we think, physically, meaning what we say, how we communicate with others, how we communicate with ourselves, how we communicate with God. And when we start changing those things, our being, human beings, not human doings, not human havings, when we change our being, our belief systems, our perception, our expectations, everything changes in what we are doing. And then we will have, inevitably, the logical proof and materials that happen when we change our emotional state and we kind of become delusional because we are immersed in spirit instead of material. And when we immerse ourselves in spirit instead of material, everything changes because our beliefs change. Another word for belief is perceptions. We see the world in a different way, and then the world starts to change. You cannot change your outer world without changing your inner world. Another way of saying that is you cannot change your outer world without changing the way your inner conception, belief, perception changes about the outer world. An example of this: you say it's so hard to make $1,000,000. It's so hard to work out. It's so hard to eat right. It's so hard to have good relationships or to get an opportunity of a job. When you argue your limitations, they will come true because you are planting that seed of thought the thought seed, into the world with your emotion that you do not have things or that things are hard. And there is always a principle of polarity in play, meaning when you think things are hard, there is no difference of when things are hard or when things are easy. This is a scale based upon perception, based upon the way you are looking at things. And if you look at things a different way, then the world will behave in a different way. The world will seemingly be completely different. That's why there are really 8 billion plus worlds in this world, because your words create your world. And when you start telling yourself, your self-talk and your talk outwardly to others that things are so hard, that these obstacles are just crushing you, then it will be completely different than when you switch your way of speaking and thinking with yourself and others and God to say, these obstacles are an opportunity so I can overcome. These obstacles are an opportunity so I can override them and show my greatness to myself and others. Because when you overcome these opportunities that seem like obstacles, you will realize they are just stepping stones so you could rise up and be a different person and feel a different way. Now, I'm going to suggest to you that you already feel how you would feel if you get your goal before you reach your goal. It's worth writing down, right? I'm going to suggest to you to feel the way you would feel if you hit your goal before you hit your goal. If you get the success you're imagining of, whether it's $1 million a month, a year, or a wife, or a certain house, or a vacation, or a job, or a certain fitness level. Feel the way you would feel once you reach that goal before you hit that goal. And that will give you so much more meaning and purpose in life. And that, my friends, is really the objective of a manifestation. Right? The objective is to feel the way you would feel when you get what you would like to get. But so many of us do this backwards. We think that we need to get it to feel it. You need to feel it to get it. You need to feel it to get it. You're not going to get it before you feel it. Again, this is the secret of manifesting. And the biggest aspect of manifesting I haven't even dropped yet is that you ain't doing nothing. Let me repeat that again in that extravagant English. You ain't doing nothing. When you manifest, you are tapping into your God self. God is on me. God is in me because God is omnipresent, omniscient. God knows everything. God is everywhere. God knows how to get any goal that you could get. That's why delusion is actually more real than needing proof. Because everything around you was created by someone's thoughts. And they were once thought to be impossible, now possible. They still seem impossible. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I see a plane that's almost 1 million pounds flying in the air, 1 million pounds of metal, that seems so delusional. You could give me all the proof in the world, it still seems delusional. The proof and the logical aspect to it helps us understand a little bit, yet everyone respects a plane before they understand it. Everyone respects a car or power before they understand it, yet you don't respect your intuition, your emotion, your spiritual delusion before you understand it. And that's the key to manifesting. To really tap into the God inside of you, because God is omnipresent. And when you limit the so-called delusion of your goal, then you're placing upon limits upon God. Do you think God has any limitations? God can do anything, anywhere, anytime. And when you tap into the God inside of you, you can create a new reality. A lot of times I say your perception of reality, because everyone has a different reality, and there are some concrete principles that you're not going to break, like gravity. Yet some principles, like the principle of lift, the reason why a plane flies, did break the principle of gravity. There are some principles that have hierarchy over other principles. Understanding the principle of identity, be, do, have, your being of emotion, your being of spirit, your being of belief and behavior, of expectation, expecting the good things in life, is so vital for you to comprehend before you do anything. Because doing is the output, and the output is always based upon your being. The output is always based upon your being. Another way of saying that is what you do is always dependent on who you are. If you're an athlete, of course you're going to do what it takes to be an athlete. But if you convince yourself that you are sedentary, old, unable, broken person, then of course you're not going to even attempt at doing what it takes to become healthier, happier, which is the true wealth. And you're not going to have the material or the property, because we are material beings. Like, we're in a material being, but we're spiritual entities. You're not going to have the material body that you wish for, because you're not going to do what it takes to have that if you do not believe you are that person that will do that thing. You must be the person to do the thing to have what you would like in life. First is the being. That is the principle of identity. The next really vital principle to evolving in life and manifesting your goals is the principle of polarity. To understand that anytime something is hard, it always can be easy. By changing the way you look at things, what you look at changes. Just like there is no concrete number in a temperature or degrees Fahrenheit of something being cold and hot. Sure, something could boil or freeze, but it's up to you to decipher what's cold and hot. When I go in the springs and it's 72 degrees year round, the natural springs of Florida, we go in there and inevitably someone's going to say it's freezing, it's so cold. Oh my gosh. And I would bet that same person was just complaining, criticizing, condemning reality that it was too hot out. And now they're saying it's too cold out. This principle of polarity is something that you are the one that is directly in control of, because it is all in the mind, just like about everything in this world. Because we see less than 1% of what's going on in the world according to the electromagnetic scale. The electromagnetic scale has so many different frequencies that we are not able to see, because our seeing is a projection of light going into our brain. And when we start to realize that what we project out into the world through our programming of what we're taking in changes everything, then you ain't going to change nothing until you change everything. By realizing that you program your subconscious with your conscious mind, and that you project what you're seeing, your interpretation of what you're seeing. Because again, it's been said, we are in the 1%, meaning we see less than 1% of what's going on in the world. There's so many bits of energy, millions, if not billions of bits of information and energy that are out in this world that we don't see. Like, we see this as not moving, but this is vibrating. That's another principle, the principle of vibration. Everything is moving constantly. In fact, like water, everything is constantly in motion, but we don't see it because we don't see everything. So tap into the God inside of you to realize that you do not see everything. So it's not worth being so upset about that principle of polarity, hate and love, dislike and like, hard and easy, that you are making this up. And when you focus frequently on something you don't want, your frequency becomes anxiety. When you focus on something you don't want frequently, your frequency becomes anxiety. When you focus on something that you would like frequently, your frequency becomes that of love and gratitude, or the God frequency, tapped into the right side of your brain. Be delusional. So you could tap in with your spirit, your spiritual emotion of love and gratitude. Euphoria is the natural way that human beings, it's our natural state of being, a natural way that human beings are to be. Our being is that of euphoria, is bliss. You means like normal. If we're dysphoric, we can't even see properly. Hyperphoria, we're seeing double. Euphoria, we see things as they truly are, which is beautiful, pure spirit. See things as you would like them to be, and that's how you will be. What you focus on frequently, becomes your frequency. And it takes consistency to build the competence so you have the confidence. Confidence means that you trust in thyself. What you believe will certainly come to you. It's been said and echoed throughout the dawn of time. What you believe will come unto you. It's been said so many different ways, but belief is one of our greatest superpowers. And another way of saying belief is expectation. What you expect. Another way of saying expectation is perceive. Your perception of reality changes everything. So I suggest to you to tap into your superpower of appreciation. Appreciation is the stepping stone of expectation. Because when we start to appreciate everything we have now, then we will realize, why would you not expect great things when you have such great things? Tap into your other superpower of imagination. Imagine how great life is right now. You have so many things surrounding you, and you're still logically expecting more material, and you need proof that it's coming before it happens. The reason why some people with so much less are so much happier is because they are tapping into the emotion of, you could say, delusional, where they know good things are coming to them. They know good things are already there because they're spiritually inclined to receive. Receive. I have a free audiobook for you called Receive at joymasterkey.com. If you go to joymasterkey.com, you could hear this free book, Receive. It's about 18 minutes long, and I read the whole thing to you. That will help you tap into, or that will illuminate you to tap into and receive what is already yours. Why some people living off of $1 or $2 a day, which is half of the world, are happier, more exhilarated for life every day, with a smile on their face, joyful, in bliss and serenity, living off of $1 or $2 a day, half the world happier than the logic brain thinking of the West, which a lot of us are so upset, expecting more, needing proof that we need more. We get ourselves so full of anxiety, thinking about what we don't want in life, that we get sick. We think we're so sick when we don't have, when we have the littlest bit of proof that we're sick, a little bit of a cough, or we see on the negative entertainment, watch solemnly, aka the news, we see a sickness going around. We see COVID getting around. We see the flu going around. We see epidemics going around, and don't realize that you have more control of that than you could ever imagine. And it all starts with emotion and spiritual thought. Because again, if you are the type of person, the being, that knows that you control your emotions, you're not going to attempt to eat your emotions and fill that void of being alone or being upset or being excited and trying to fill up that emotional space with food and inactivity, food that is not serving you. You're going to realize that you get so much more joy out of so many other things than just food, like getting amped, activities of meaning and purpose, getting excited to do the things that have meaning and purpose in your life. And if eating refined food and high calorie foods is what you find meaning and purpose in life and joy in your life, then you best stay tuned and do a lot more reading of these wonderful books to get out of the life that has been taken from you of pure spiritual bliss and divinity. Tap into your God self, the God in yourself that's dancing in your heart on an acre of diamonds, because you have an acre of diamonds within you and you're looking without. And when you don't realize that you have it within, you're always going to look without, and without is always going to be a reflection of what's within. And if you think that you are not the most valuable thing in the world, then you're going to constantly look for value and you're not going to see the value, because if you can't see the value within, you will not see it without. Take that in. You are a lighthouse searching for a light outside of yourself when you're the one that's illuminating the light. You're the one that is giving the light, and you're refusing to receive all of the reflections of your eternal light. God is the eternal source of your external infinite supply. You have an infinite supply. We're in abundance, not lack. If you doubt abundance, just breathe. You could breathe as much as you want. It's not going to take other people's oxygen. For some reason, we don't apply that to the material world, which is an outer manifestation of the spiritual world. Money is a spiritual concept, and we think that if we get more money, other people are going to have less, when in reality, when you get more money, everyone is blessed with your more money. You're able to give that much more. Money is printed every day. Money is actually changed so many times over. It used to be backed by gold, and then it was backed by a promissory note, and now it's actually a digital spiritual conception, because it's unseen. When you can't see something, it's spiritual. It's just digits on a spiritual mainframe, on a computer space-like cloud program. Money is produced. We make money every time we buy something big like a house. Money is made by a bank every time you buy something. More money is produced, more money is being able to give around. And to a starving man, bread is God, and money could buy bread. That was Gandhi's quote. Money could buy bread, which means money could help so many people. Why think of it as evil lucre when it could help so many people? It's not going to be evil lucre when you give it to someone who's living off $1 or $2 a day. Bless them with just $100 and see the change on their face. Bless them with 10,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000 and change a whole community or a whole country, just with this simple spiritual idea of money, because it represents the communication of value. And when you could communicate your value to others, money flows to you easily, frequently, and abundantly. But really, the point of the money is to change your emotional state, to tap into your spiritual being, to be delusional and see everything as perfect before it actually creates perfection. Because you will create perfection when you see things as perfect. But when you focus on things that are not perfect, then more of those things happen to you. As my baby, who's 7 years old, has said, when you focus on your goal, you'll get your goal. When you focus on your problem, you'll get your problem, and more and more and more. You'll get more and more of your goals when you focus on your goals. They'll just come to you easily, frequently, and abundantly. Not just focusing on them, feeling them. Because true focus is a feeling, and when you feel that emotion of exuberation, of exhilaration, of joy, of bounty, of abundance, and you realize that lie is a lack. Lie is like the devil in flesh, and abundance is God inside of you. Tap into that super consciousness, the infinite intelligence that resides in all of you. And you will be able to manifest so much more, because it's not really you that's manifesting. Remember, it's spirit that manifests, God that manifests through you. Because the kingdom of God is within, so stop looking without. Stop looking in the external world. Feel the God inside of you and create more value and communicate it with others, and more value will be given to you, because as you give, so shall you receive. When you knock, a physical action of giving your energy to knock, then the door will open. When you ask and communicate your value to others by asking a question, because it's so much more valuable to have a question that could be answered than not having a question at all, or having an answer that can't be questioned. That is of very little value. Questions bring us floodings and abundance, avalanches of abundance, of appreciation for answers and solutions. Question not only the question, but question the answer, which is so much more valuable. I'd rather have an answer that I could question than a question that I can't answer, has been said before, and it's a beautiful sentiment. Seeketh and you shall find. The first place to seek, though, is within, because the kingdom of God is within, not without. Always is God within you, omnipresent, on me, in me, omni. Feel the God within. Enjoy your acres of diamonds within. If this touched you and blessed you, subscribe, like, throw your notes in the comments below, share if you care about others. You are absolutely amazing and a beautiful being. You're capable of anything great. May you be blessed by the best of the best and have the greatest day of your life.